The process was a struggle marked by many confrontations. Most were nonviolent. A few turned ugly. One in particular led to a key turning point in relations between the city and the black community.
1969, on Mother's Day, we had an abbreviated riot in Tacoma.
The incident began with the arrest of a black couple following a brief confrontation in the Hilltop area. A crowd formed. Emotions ran hot.
When that thing explodes, it's not over the issue you would like to see it explode over. Whatever triggers the community at that time is what they will go off on.
People in the community followed the police officers down to the county city building. They broke a window or two in the back of the county city building.
They were young and they were caught up in what was taking place around the country too. I mean, they were seeing the riots in Chicago. They were seeing this protest and this fight for civil rights. But all of a sudden, everybody was in the street. There were folks all over K Street.
Mother's Day night, windows were broken, Molotov cocktails were thrown.
While aiding other officers trying to make an arrest, Officer Herman Knack was shot and wounded. 35 were arrested that night. Estimates were that 25 businesses suffered $15,000 damage.
I did not know how far that thing would go. You know, whether the arrest would trigger more or less or just what. I had a dental laboratory over on 11th Street. I went down to my place and I stayed in my building that night. I just stayed there because, quite honestly, I was really, really concerned that if the riot came that far, I had my life tied up in that shop and I was not interested in losing. My whole life was in it. Monday cometh. After Mother's Day, Monday cometh, and I have teeth to deliver to my dentist.
The next day, at an emergency session, the city council proclaimed a curfew.
We were there when the cops came up. We knew that something was going to happen, and we were trying to do everything we could to separate the kids from the police officers. At the Malcolm X Center, which is now People's Center, young people were playing basketball. The cops came to the area with bullhorns saying a curfew has been called, and those youth were not about to leave that area. The attitude was, to hell with the police, we want to play basketball, we haven't done anything. So at that time, it occurred to maybe 8 of us, including Reverend Brazil, Reverend Bowles, were able to contact the city manager, David Rowlands, and convince him to call the police back down to the county city building. We just told the young people that, hey, we got to vacate this area. The cops will be back up here if we can't get you out of here, let's go. It wasn't automatic that they just walked away, but we were able to persuade them. So there was no confrontation.
It could have been very ugly. There was Reverend Brazil and Reverend Bowles that really kind of got the kids off the street and slowed that thing down.
1 week later, the city council heard demands from black leaders.
We laid 3 demands on the city of Tacoma to improve the streets in the Hilltop area so that they would be comparable to the streets in other neighborhoods of Tacoma. Number 2 was to hire 10 black police officers yesterday. Maybe there were 250 police officers, 1 was black. And number 3 was that the city should make a consistent, deliberate, ongoing effort to hire more blacks and minorities in city government. I would say the Mother's Day incident was the galvanizing issue that caused us to get up and do something.
The importance of the Mother's Day riot was that we were able to get an urban coalition of business people and community people together that decided we're not going to have a riot. We're not going to burn our city down. We're going to find some solutions to work out what was really festering. People who had no jobs couldn't get jobs.
The resulting partnerships added significantly to the efforts of the Urban League, the NAACP, and others.